It's not a few points that you take on the face of the patient, it's a whole photograph in very eloquent areas. You need to be very precise in the brainstem or in the deep brain, and I think NaoTrac with this technology may help achieving this.
Department of Neurosurgeons in Erasmus Medical Center.
Yes, thank you Jerry for coming over to Rotterdam. My name is Clemens Dirven. I'm the head of the neurosurgical department here in Rotterdam at Erasmus Medical Center. We are a pretty large department. Rotterdam is a big city. We are the only neurosurgical department here in the region, so it's pretty busy. We focus mainly on brain tumor treatment, but next to that we have a very large experience in trauma, brain trauma, but so we have a very busy practice here. Next to tumor and trauma we also have a large pediatric neurosurgical department, and we do a lot of vascular neurosurgery.
Yes, my name is Arno Vincent. I'm a professor at the Department of Neurosurgery of the Erasmus MC in Rotterdam. My specializing field is neuro-oncology, and I mainly op brain tumors like glioma, which I do with awake craniotomies, but I also do operations on midline tumors and acoustic neuromas. I think that the new robotic techniques for taking biopsies, for example, are much more precise than the traditional. It's also much more practical than the traditional neuronavigation methods. So I think that taking biopsies with a robot is much easier for a neurosurgeon and actually better for the patient.
My name is Ilke Bos. I'm a neurosurgeon specialized in brain tumor surgery, and I work at the Erasmus Medical Center in Rotterdam. So today we operated on a patient who was diagnosed with a brain tumor of unknown significance, and we had to perform a biopsy to make a diagnosis and to see what kind of brain tumor this was. So I think it worked very well today. We were preparing, of course, this week to do this first surgery, but I think there were no real problems during the surgery that we happened due to the robot. It works very well. Of course, it takes a bit of getting used to. It's another way of operating. It's another way of navigating. So it goes a bit slower than you are usually used to. But otherwise, the robot performed well, and we were able to quickly take our biopsies that were needed for this patient. I think the system is pretty intuitive. It helps the buttons. Every next step has a green button, which helps you go to the next step. So you have to get used to some functions. For example, the safety of the pedal. You have to press the pedal every time, but it's also a good way. You can stop the procedure at every moment. So I think people, they don't need much time to get used to the system.
Yeah, so far it has been a very positive experience. So I was surprised by how intuitive this robot works. It was easy to learn and easy to also explain to the other colleagues. By means of feedback, I can say that I foresee no difficulties in implementing this here.
Where I see opportunities, I think, is mainly in becoming more precise in surgery. If you look at brain tumors, the whole world now knows that taking out as much of a glioma improves survival of the patient. That we have a big challenge. These tumors infiltrate the brain. In the early days, going from biopsies to partial resections to gross total resections. Now we are on the step of going to supramarginal resections. This means that you, without a doubt, will encounter your limitations by brain functions. And brain functions we can identify during surgery with electric stimulation, because the current that you use in electrical cortical stimulation still spreads from 3 to 5 millimeters, meaning that your fault margin is still pretty large, and we need to become more precise. One first step in this is that the instruments that we track and with which we determine, based on the imaging, where we are, is more precise. And that's why I believe that navigation, precise, exact navigation with error margin less than a millimeter, is very important. Another example is biopsies in very eloquent areas. You need to be very precise in the brainstem, in the deep brain. Placement of all kinds of devices in the brain, like catheters for CED, convection enhanced delivery, or electrodes for stimulation. All these need very precise navigation through the brain. And I think NaoTrac with this technology may help achieving this. I'm a strong believer of this technique, not only for tumors but also for all kinds of other diseases, neurodegenerative diseases or metabolic diseases, where indeed with cell therapies or gene therapy or virus-based gene therapies, you are able to deliver your drug in larger areas of the brain. But in order to do so, again, you need very precise navigation and catheter placement in order to do so. And that's why I think NaoTrac, yeah.
With the technique behind, we can provide more and more applications in the future, such like the drug deliveries, the virus deliveries, or with the cell therapies and other new applications. Also in the underserved area, we can provide the remote assist systems to help them to do the telesurgeries for the underserved area. So come and join us to save more life.